The big risk that I think people mismanage most often when it comes to their retirement is future tax liability risk. So if you talk to a retirement planner, tax planning is very, very important. It is absolutely critical, specifically for the fact that we can't control what tax rates are going to be next year, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, or even farther than that. And if you're somebody who retires in your early 60s or maybe in your 50s and you expect to live for the next 35, 45 years, there is a high probability that tax rates will be different at some point in the future than they are today. The big question is, do we think tax rates will be higher in the future than they are today or lower in the future than they are today? And that will be the starting point as far as conversations to determine what tax planning strategies and methodologies should be utilized for you moving forward throughout retirement. And that's where common conversations like Roth conversions come in. For a lot of newly retired individuals, the thought of Roth conversions are appealing, but getting too aggressive with Roth conversions, especially early on in retirement, can provide too much uncomfortableness that they don't want to experience, mainly for the fact that if they get aggressive with Roth conversions, that will come along with a big tax bill owed at the end of that year. And for a lot of pre-retirees, when you're just starting out, you're very conscious with how much money you have and how you want to spend your money to make sure it's going to last for the next 3+ decades. And spending a significant amount on taxes is not something you probably originally had planned for yourself. But it is something you're going to want to consider, because the longer you string out your tax liability as you get older throughout retirement, because you don't want to be as aggressive with something like the Roth conversion strategy, means you are giving control of your money to the IRS for a longer period of time, increasing the chances and probabilities that the IRS is going to, or I should say Congress is going to, increase future tax rates. And if majority of your money is in deferred funds, the IRS's thumb will grow bigger over your retirement money, and there's nothing really you can do about it at that point moving forward. Let's take a look at a real world example to see how that comes into play. So let's assume that you're retiring with $3 million. You have spent your entire life saving and you've accumulated $3 million between you and your spouse in a deferred account. It could be 401k, it could be IRA. It doesn't matter what. All that matters is that when you eventually spend that money, you will be taxed on it. Now, let's assume that you are debating whether you want to really get aggressive with Roth conversions and convert your Roth money up to the top of the IRMAA third bracket. So IRMAA brackets are the income thresholds used to determine what your Medicare premiums will be 2 years later. So a lot of people don't like to increase their income up into IRMAA brackets because it means in 2 years, their Medicare premiums could go up. And if you go up high enough into IRMAA brackets, your Medicare premiums could be quite substantial compared to if you didn't. Versus in this scenario, just Roth converted up to the 12% bracket, which isn't a lot, but at least you're starting to move some of your deferred money to your Roth side, so that if at some future date tax rates do go up, you're not beholden to that higher tax bracket than you were today, because you've already started to convert your money to Roth and experience that tax liability. From a present value net legacy standpoint, it's almost $1 million of net worth in present value terms. You are giving up almost $1.1 million, so 7 figures. By not being more aggressive with your Roth conversions, you are actually paying the IRS over $1.1 million more in taxes because you're not being as aggressive. And your average tax rate over your retirement lifetime in this situation, because you are not as aggressive with your Roth conversions earlier in retirement, is almost 10% in average tax rate. Now, again, there are a lot of specifics that will determine whether something like this is applicable to your financial situation or not. But just know, if you're somebody who has spent your entire life saving aggressively in deferred accounts, and now you find yourself at $3 million or north of $3 million in deferred retirement savings, considering the tax environment we're in right now, potentially, and it's absolutely, like we just saw, worth consideration, potentially being more aggressive earlier in retirement with your Roth conversions could be a tremendous boon to your future retirement viability in terms of net legacy, total taxes saved. So just know, if you've spent your whole life saving, you feel good about the amount of money you saved, and you go, that's more than I'll ever need to spend in retirement because you've reached the $2, $3, $4 million threshold. The next thing you should take a look at is how that money's taxed, in the potential risk of dragging that tax liability out over a longer period of time in retirement, and how that risk could come back and hurt you if Congress decides that they want to raise tax rates in the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. And what's the probability of that happening? And how does that compare to being more aggressive in eliminating the majority of that tax liability earlier in retirement via Roth conversions? Now, this is a simplified look at it. There is a lot of assumptions and projections and big decisions that need to be made before you can aggressively pursue a Roth conversion strategy. And that's where hiring a specialized retirement planner who does a lot of proactive tax planning could be extremely beneficial. And that's exactly what I do with my clients in my firm. And the best part is I do it all for a single flat fee. I don't sell commission products. I don't charge assets under management fees that continuously go up just because investment markets do. I have one single flat fee that all my clients pay. So all of that proactive tax planning and retirement planning work that I do for my clients is applied to everybody, not just a select few. So if you're interested in learning how potentially aggressive Roth conversions could or could not be beneficial to your future retirement, and you're looking to potentially hire a flat fee wealth manager who has experience working with pre-retirees within 5 years of retirement who have between $1 and $6 million of retirement assets, look no further. Use the link in the description of this video to schedule your free consultation, and I'd be happy to explain more about how it all works. Until that future conversation, happy retirement planning.